Let's take a look at the 6'7" guard out of France, Rayan Rupert. He shot 24% from three this past season in 39 games via Instat and 73% from the free throw line. I can just not figure out what to think about this kid's shot. The free throw form I thought was okay. The catch and shoot, you see the very low dip, the very elongated shot, but the catch and shoot percentage was a little bit better, 30% on 46 attempts. Here you see him coming off some off-ball action, something that happens a lot, into a ball screen. There, off the bounce, it actually looks pretty fluid. I thought it looked good at times. And then late in the season, this past summer, does a good job keeping the ball a little bit higher, a little bit quicker, even though he misses. So I think he's still working on it, trying to figure it out. This pull-up mid-range, where he was only 31% on 209 attempts, again, looks very fluid. So in the ball screen, able to rise up, knock that down. So while I don't think I buy the shot, there is some foundations, there are some clips and possessions you find that makes you think as a long-term develop, it's something that he can get better at. As we transition to him getting to the rim, 56% on all play types around the rim. He can attack mismatches, you see there, and he's very good using his length and extending for his finishes. Gets another mismatch here, and you're going to see him just play with a little finesse, nice step through, and then does a nice job finishing with his left hand. On this clip, we're going to see him coming off a pin down. So again, he is very good playing off ball, coming off pin downs. Those actions were something I saw a lot with Rupert. Attacks this and then is able to finish with that extended left hand. He was most used play type was as a pick and roll handler. He wasn't super efficient, just 0.76 points per possession, but it was 21% of his play types. And does a nice job there, snaking the screen so he gets the mismatch he wants, pulls the ball back. He's going to create the advantage. You see go by, but then he doesn't really have the explosiveness to finish above defenders. Here against a more of a perimeter defender, you see him struggle to really create separation and go by. And then I don't think he really has the explosion to get up and finish there. I know he gets fouled, but I would like to see more of that mid-range jumper we saw earlier in the breakdown. And then again, off ball, gets this flare screen, so creates an advantage that way. Nice attack, gets to the rim, doesn't able to finish over the double contest there. So I do have questions about what he'll be able to do finishing at the rim when there's a contest. In isolations, he was only 0.56 points per possession, and what happened was he ended up settling a lot for jumpers in those situations. Looking at his all-around offensive game, I think he's a guy that can be a really good offensive rebounder. He averaged less than 1 per game this past season, but if you go 2 seasons ago, he averaged 1.5. I just think it's something that he can give a little bit more focus and be good at. And then also, I've talked multiple times now about him playing off ball. Here you see a nice cut on the baseline to get himself a layup. So I think he can provide value in that way as an off ball player. Here you see him coming off a couple screens, pin down. I really like his passing. It doesn't show as much because he's not a creator, as I've talked about, but 2.4 assists per game for Rupert. You see him with the right hand hook pass on the pop there from the big guy. And then as we start to transition into the defense, you see a beautiful rotation here off ball as he gets the steal, one dribble, eyes up, and then a beautiful pass ahead to his teammate, leading him right to the basket. So I do think he's a guy that can pass the ball in those situations. It would be great if he could create a little bit more and show it even more. Now, as we look at him just defensively, saw a lot of clips him picking up on ball. I think he's going to be a really good defender. I'll talk about some of the quote-unquote cons in just a second, but he's going to pressure the ball. He's going to be disruptive. He's going to use his length. 2.3 steals per game. Again, in a 39-game sample size, which is a pretty good sample size for Rupert in France last season. Here, off ball, I showed it earlier, but he sees the rotation, maybe plays a little bit too much, plays for the steal quite a bit. I'll talk about it in a second, but then look at the recovery to close out, stay in front, just a really nice off ball into on ball rep there from Rupert, and then navigating screens. So there a flare screen navigates, goes under this one on the handoff. Now he's going to get over the top on the ball screen, gets back in front, and then this is where I start to have just a few questions. He's a little overzealous at times. So he goes for the shot fake, gives up the up and under to the smaller player, and then I do like that he's willing to pick up, but here you see him reaching, which he does a lot, which against a better player, this creates a pretty good advantage starting at half court. And And then you see him reaching again. I wonder about foul trouble with him. And then off the ball, goes for steals a little bit too much. So you see him overplay the passing lane quite a bit, gives up the back door. So I think he will have to show a little more discretion in terms of how disruptive he is. So looking at Rupert offensively, I do think the shooting is a major question mark. I am very interested to see how it comes around this next season with the New Zealand Breakers. I like the passing. I like that he can play off the ball, but his scoring package in general will have to improve as well. And then defensively, I really like what he brings to the table. I think he can really guard on ball. I think he can really guard off ball. Just has to be a little careful about how aggressive he is at times.